Hey, good evening. How are you? Hold on, I can't hear you. Hold on one second.
There we
There
go.
you go. How are you?
Very good. How are you?
I'm doing pretty good. I'm doing pretty good. I'm going to stop my video here for a moment as we welcome individuals to join us this afternoon and this evening. It's great to be back. I can't believe another week has gone by. And I'm going to ask everyone to stay around until the end because we are going to share some photos that Travis sent in of his beautiful Christmas decorations. So
Oh,
I'm
fantastic.
excited. I'm excited to be able to share that. We're going to share that at the end. And yeah, we will definitely do that. I am on the move today. So I want to apologize to everyone for not being physically in the studio. And it's I got to be on the road at the moment, but it's great to be back here, and it's super exciting. It's Wednesday. I can't believe it's Wednesday. So before we get started, I want to just welcome everyone. Thank you so much for joining us this afternoon, this evening on Tea and Poetry. And we are looking forward to spending the next hour with you, sharing some amazing words from Dave, photos from Travis, and hearing from you guys, and just having a wonderful time together. So, as usual, there are three ways how you can get our attention. One, you can click on the raise my hand or raise your hand, I believe it says, and that will allow you to uh, get in contact with us. When we see you using the raise your hand, that means that you want to join us, and we're going to bring you in, and we will bring you on. Again, you can use video, you can use audio, whatever you are comfortable with, and we will bring you on. Of course, you can also send us a message through the chat, or you can send a message through the Q&A. I hope everyone is doing well and everyone is staying safe. I know that we are doing everything in our part, our social distancing, sanitizing here in the office, masks, the whole 9 yards, COVID testing every week. And again, we're just taking one day at a time. So, as everyone here probably knows, if you're a regular here on the group, you know that myself, Mr. B. Fox, and Sedona Dave were out together last week in Sedona, and it was a quite a remarkable experience. To be able to do TM poetry from the road, and to be able to share some of the sights, experiences, and the feelings and emotions from Sedona. And, as we mentioned also, our, trip that we had planned was postponed, and we're looking forward to having you, Dave, out in Sedona in early 2021, April 2021. We're looking forward to having you here. So it's exciting times, exciting times. So what's going on in your neck of the woods?
Wow. Yeah. What a couple of weeks it's actually been. We can kind of speak a little bit more now. We alluded to some things that were going on last week. For those that were on
Yes.
the call last week, we talked about looking out for an announcement on social media and on Facebook the following day.
Yes.
Which kind of trickled out on the Thursday, but then on the Friday we kind of rolled everything out. But for those people that kind of weren't on social media or weren't on Facebook and hadn't seen what happened, Barry, do you want to kind of explain what we've been working on and
Sure.
who we've been working
Sure.
with?
Absolutely. So everyone here, obviously, you're here for a reason. Everyone here, I guess I'm going to say everyone here has heard Dave's magnificent poetry. But Dave's magnificent poetry caught someone's attention over at a company called Apple. Yeah, Apple. I'm sure everyone here has heard of the company called Apple. And there was an individual there who saw a video of Dave online just by surfing around, and thought it would be a good idea to reach out to Dave and see if he would be interested in participating in a media briefing last week for World Disability Day. And, I want to say, Dave gets a lot of fan mail. A lot of people reach out to Dave for various interview requests, but you don't get an email from Apple every day. Let's call a spade, right? You just don't get an email from Apple every day. So we had set up this initial call with them via Zoom, and they really moved at a really fast pace. And as if those of you out there on the call today, if you use an iOS, any of Apple's products, that Apple goes the distance and is a leader when it comes to accessibility and as far as technology. So it was truly remarkable, and they quickly were able to get approval from Apple headquarters in California to include Dave on these media briefings. And the feedback, what I got was, Dave, it was a grand slam. You knocked it out of the park. And if you guys go on to the blindpoet.net and you scroll down to where it says featured media coverage, you will be able to get a glimpse of some of the articles and the publications that picked up Apple and Dave's story. So it's just truly remarkable. And I'm super proud of Dave, and I'm super proud of this whole group, but really want to, give a special, incredible thank you for Dave for doing everything that you do day in, day out, for being there for everyone, giving everyone the support that when people reach out, and for being able to, create this incredible community. So, kudos to you, congratulations. And this is something really special. And I feel that this is the, just the beginning when it comes to working with and being able to create and elevate awareness through companies like Apple.
Yeah, it was certainly a great experience. And once again, as you rightly said there, these things kind of come out of the blue, but they always seem to come out of the blue at kind of the right time. It's the power of social media and getting a message across that is resonating with people. And it certainly proved that in the press briefings. You'll see, for those people that go onto the website, Barry's put links on all the press briefings that we did with Apple last week, and there was two major press organisations in the UK. There was a couple in France. There was 4 in Germany, and there was 5 in Italy. So safe to say, we got the message of our community spread far and wide last week. So yeah, that happened kind of from the beginning of the week. We announced or alluded to it last week on Tea and Poetry. It went live around the world, around Europe, on Thursday and Friday, and then I finished off my week on Friday in a great way. First of all, I had a call from Royal Manchester Eye Hospital. And
Yes.
For those of you that have been on these calls for a few weeks now, you will know that I've been waiting for some laser treatment on my left eye, where I had cataract surgery to remove some particles on the lens. It's called a YAG laser treatment. And I'd been on a waiting list, and they said that chances are, with the way COVID was, it probably wasn't going to be till next year, and it's been causing lots of problems for me. I'm really sensitive to glare, and my eyes have been super blurry. But I got a call on Friday on the high of Apple, and then lo and behold, the hospital ring up and say, we've got an appointment for you, and I'm going tomorrow to have my laser surgery, which I can't wait for, to regain a bit more comfortable vision in my left eye, which is great. And also last Friday, after getting that call, I then finished it off with having a fantastic interview, which I know, Barry, you've seen. It's been posted on my Facebook page, and it's on YouTube as well, from a lovely young gentleman by the name of Braden Barnes. You may know of Bailey, who appears on these calls quite often. Bailey's nephew, who has RP, interviewed me for his very first YouTube video, and for his all new YouTube channel, and it was a fantastic interview.
Fantastic is an understatement.
Yeah, I've been working with Bailey and his family now, and they've been using my poetry for quite some time, for a few years now, and it was great to actually get some time with Bailey and listen to his great, amazing questions that he'd come up with. And yeah, it was a real great interview, and the feedback we had on it was absolutely fantastic.
Yeah, absolutely, absolutely. So I want to just apologize as I get into an Uber right now if there's any extra noise. So please accept my apologies on that. And I am again, I'm just on the move here, and but I would, I don't like to miss tea and poetry. In fact, over the summer when I was traveling, I was on a plane, and I was able to connect with you guys and be there as well. So it was more in the background, but it was definitely pretty cool.
Yeah. So I know I messaged you earlier on. I'm going to announce today that this is going to be the last Tea and Poetry of 2020. We're going to take a break for the holidays, so I can spend some time with the family, and all you guys can kind of enjoy yourselves as well. And then we're going to be back with the first Tea and Poetry of 2021 on the first Wednesday, which would be, let me just check what that is now. I can see the date. Got my there we go. So after this, yeah, Tea and Poetry will resume on the 6th of January.
6th of January.
6th of January. So hopefully we'll have lots to kind of speak about, in the coming weeks as well, with everything that's going on in the holiday period. This one today, because it is the last one of 2020, I want to kind of revisit some of the stuff we've spoke about, revisit some of the poetry that that I've created through speaking to you guys, and some of the experiences that we've shared since the beginning. So this is what I'd like people to do today is to cap off the end of the year by coming on and telling us all what this hour of Tea and Poetry has meant to you since its creation, right at the beginning of the pandemic, which was when we started doing these, when we all went into lockdown. So I'd like as many people as possible to come on and share with us what it kind of meant to you. I am going to get into a piece of poetry to start off with, but before I do that, I'd like to bring on B Fox if he's there. I know B's.
I see him there.
I'm always here, my brother. What's happening, Big Dave?
Hey, there we go. Yeah, so hey, there we go. I can see you now. I just want to say a massive thank you for that video you did earlier on. The smile on both me and Amy and I's face. We were both smiling away watching your video, especially the end. For those of you who have not seen it yet, B did this amazing, brilliant professional video with a blind dance gear on, doing a testimonial talking about what I mean to him and the poetry means to him. And we want to get some of these videos and collate them and put them onto the blindpoet.net website for people like Apple to see when all these companies are coming looking and having a little snoot round the website as they have been doing recently. So if anyone would like to record one of these videos, it doesn't have to be anything big, just something short, please get in touch with Ben. And we'll get them sorted out and put on the website ASAP.
Yeah, I got to tell you, Dave, Barry can vouch for me. I filmed that testimonial 2 weeks ago before I left to Sedona. I'm not a Johnny come lately with the Apple interview, I got to tell you. But when I saw the Apple review, I said, man, I should have had that edited up on your website.
Oh, man.
I got to it a little late, but it was recorded beforehand because I am the biggest fan. I put out a challenge. Anyone out there that's a bigger fan of yours, Dave, than me, do a testimonial. Let us know about it because I'm your number one fan.
I don't like, the fan word doesn't, that's not, we're friends, mate. We're not,
Best friend.
It's,
on the post up there, I said I started out as a fan, but I'm so blessed and grateful to be a friend, a best friend.
Absolutely.
But I still always claim the top fan spot.
Listen, you know, it's great that we can talk about that, either the Apple thing now, because I know you caught wind of it, you know, when it was happening. Barry told you, and you messaged me straight away, and we couldn't really, you know, say anything on social media, and it was just quite a cool thing, wasn't it? You know, seeing that someone like Apple is paying attention.
Yes.
Yeah, it really is, and I'm you know, proud to be a part of this. But when you have a company like Apple and they reach out and like you said, they're paying attention, they're not just, you know, in their offices or people working from home, you know, just, you know, focusing on the technology side. They really care. They are a company that really cares about its users and the accessibility side. It's very important to them, and it just, you know, goes to show you how they went through great lengths to track down Dave, to act quickly, and to, again, to bring him in front and center.
And can I just say as well that they're actually, you know, they're really working with people within our community to actually, you know, develop the technology and the accessible features that are on these devices. You know, when I was on the call, the press briefing last week, there was someone that was responsible for the new features on iPhone Pro, the iPhone 12 Pro and Pro Max, which is what I was speaking about. There's a new magnifier on there, which is absolutely incredible. And the thing that I did the video on is this thing called people detection, which through the camera, which is on iPhone Pro, 12 Pro and Pro Max, it has something called a LiDAR sensor. And the LiDAR sensor, it almost works like augmented reality. So you can click a button 3 times on the side of your phone, which you know, opens up the people detection, and what it does is it detects how far someone is away from you. So there's a noise like almost like a Geiger counter or a metal detector, an audible noise that gets quicker the closer someone is. And there's also markings on the screen to show you if someone's 1 meter, 1.5 meter, or 2 meters away. And it works in low light as well. So not only is it good for social distancing, but also, you know, just kind of navigating around a busy environment where you're not wanting to bump into people. And when I was on the call and I was speaking to the people who actually came up with this tech, one of the guys who's high up in Apple actually has RP. And we were chatting away about that. So yeah, it was really quite cool. You know, knowing that they're working with people within not just the low vision and the blindness community, but also, you know, the deaf community as well, and lots of other different disabilities. And you know, they are working to actually ask people like ourselves, you know, what do we need to really make a difference in our lives, which was great to be a part of.
And I know that when Dave speaks to companies like Apple, he really carries the message for the entire, you know, sight loss community on his shoulder. So, you know, I want
it
to
resonated
express
with
that.
the press as well. I've got to say that, you know, a little bit of a scoop here, but we did 2 sessions with the press, and on the second session, there was a Q&A at the end of each session, and on the second session, all the press were asking questions to me and not to the Apple team, which was you know, really quite something to sort of to have, you know, them kind of coming back to me and asking lots of things. They were really you know, really sort of taking note on what I was talking about and getting that emotional side of what things actually mean to us.
Right. Yeah, and I'm just curious here, and I would love to everyone to share their thoughts. I mean, if the guys, you know, when we start bringing people in and interacting, I would love to hear how many of you out there have actually or tried or used any of these features from Apple that would you know, Dave was talking about.
Yep. So let's start with a piece of poetry. I actually wrote a piece of poetry today, which I sent to you guys. And you know, I wanted to write something that wasn't just about low vision, that was actually about this year, especially with it being the last one of 2020. So I wrote a poem, which I've released a YouTube video of today as well, which is getting loads of great comments and feedback in all the different groups and on YouTube. It's called 2020 Vision, and it's really got some lines in this. So, you know, we always kind of dissect these things and say what sticks out. So I'd like you guys to do that, and let's then bring some people in to see what tea and poetry has meant to them this year. But here we go. This is 2020 Vision. This year may not have happened like we hoped that it would be. Tomorrow's not a promise that we are meant to see. But we are privileged to be alive right here today. There's far too many people lost and souls that slipped away. For 2020 vision taught me hold my loved ones tight, and those outside my bubble see once more when won this fight. When social distancing is done and masks are not required, we'll get to do the things that isolation has inspired. The simple freedoms of this life that we once took for granted, the goals that we have set ourselves that this pandemic planted. When lockdown's finally over and this page in history turns, will you waste another moment and forget what we have learned? Well, I'm not going back to how I was when I could see. This journey going blind taught me who I was meant to be. For 2020 vision was with me before the virus. I took my greatest challenges and used them to inspire us. The scars we bear from yesterday remind us we are strong. And all those times we thought we'd fail turned out that we were wrong. So don't wait for tomorrow to achieve what you have dreamed. Our 2020 vision's not what we first thought it seems.
Dave, I want to tell you, this is such a strong piece. I mean, every piece is strong, but this one really captures the essence of 2020 on so many levels. And, I'm just, thinking back when we started Tea and Poetry, right? End of March, right? When we really kicked it off. So we're talking about, April, May, June, July, August, September, October, November, December. We're going to, close to it's almost a year, and we've just it's just been an incredible ride. And we could have never predicted 2020 to turn out like this. I think all of us here on this call, and I know myself, Dave, and Ben, we all had different visions for 2020. But like I was saying the other day, is that we were, and in fact, I was actually speaking with Sedona Dave about this. We were saying that we had we thought we were going in one direction, and we quickly, started going in another direction because of the pandemic. But we were all able to accomplish so much during this time period. And, again, being able to accomplish this group is a true testament to that, where we were concerned, Dave, I remember, can we do it weekly? Does it make sense to do it weekly? And it's been an incredible ride. So, simple freedoms of life that we once took for granted, the goals that we set ourselves that the pandemic planted. Again, these are, journey going blind taught me who I was meant to be. These are things that stand out to me. And we were pumped for 2020. I remember last year, together, and even in January, how we were so excited for 2020. I'm excited. I feel like I have that same enthusiasm on even more for 2021.
Absolutely. I remember having these conversations, but between me, you, and Ben, and us talking about 2020 vision, the title of that poem. Talking about all these things that we're going to achieve, and like life does, as a habit of doing, it throws us a curveball. But one thing that our community, and I say our community because Barry, you're blind at heart. You always say that you're a part of, is we know how to adjust and adapt, and see the potential in everything that we're doing. And I think that's definitely what we've done this year. And we're going to take that and we're going to run with it into this year, because we say this all the time. You were saying it on the call to Apple, talking about how it's amazing what we can achieve doing these things, but when we get in a room together, we can really run with it. So if we can do this year, imagine what we can do next year.
Absolutely. And I know the momentum is there. Go, Ben.
I like the line that you said, something about the virus will inspire us. That rhyme scheme right there really got my ear. But more than anything, it's there's so many things that have built up inside of our hearts. And you had a line in there, and I couldn't remember the exact wording, but inspired. inside of us, right now.
Yeah, let me pull it up 1 second. Where has it gone? Let's have a look. Oh, there we go. For 2020, for 2020 was with me. No, for 2020 vision was with me before the virus. I took my greatest challenges and used them to inspire us.
That's the line.
We talk about that all the time. It's, I spoke about it last week. I've been doing these little kind of like e-cards, almost like short kind of pieces of poetry, little quotes, and then putting them on Instagram and putting them out on Facebook and getting loads of great feedback about it, little sections of poems. And sometimes it's not even poems. I'll just like write a little section. And then from that, I'll then get inspired to write a piece of poetry, which is how I've been writing recently. It's changed how I've started writing. And I talk about all the time about how I believe that one of the things that I've done, and I see lots of other people do, is we take our biggest challenges in life and turn them into our greatest achievements.
Yep.
And that's what I always try and say to someone when, they're really struggling or having a tough time is, you can take this pain that you're going through, this heartache, this anxiety, and you can turn it into your greatest achievement. That's
very true.
Yeah, that's why I put it in there.
Very, very true. So there have been a bunch of comments out there. And so if anyone, I think we can start bringing some people in.
So the two questions.
Yeah, go ahead.
The two questions I want people to, or the two things I want people to come on and talk about is, first of all, one of the things that I put on one of those e-cards that I was just talking about the other day is, what has 2020 taught them the most? And then the second one is, what has tea and poetry meant to them this year?
Perfect. I'm going to start off with Doreen.
Doreen.
What a great way to start.
Doreen's
Absolutely.
The only person that I'd say is any competition for biggest fan, because Doreen, she's definitely there.
I'm going to, Doreen, I'm asking you to unmute. Maybe. Oh, there you go. How are you, Doreen?
Hello. I just can't show my face because I'm at the hairdresser.
I didn't think you were going to make it tonight.
I know. I said I'd take my iPad with me. Dave, I just want to wish you good luck tomorrow.
Thank you.
And you know what this group means to me, and you too. You guys are my hero.
Thank you, Doreen. Thank you.
All right, I gotta go get beautiful. Thank you.
You're welcome.
She's already beautiful.
Yeah,
I know.
Thank you, Dave.
Take care. So yeah, let's go ahead and bring on usually my number one go-to, Travis.
Hey.
Travis, I'm asking you to unmute.
Hello there.
Hey, how are you?
Good. How about you guys?
We're doing great. It's
Good.
another Wednesday, and we're here together.
Yep. My understanding, no meeting starting next week, but this has been great. And I have to say, I've really been getting a lot out of this. And I have to say, meeting with you guys every Wednesday, it is just so therapeutic, and just meeting people is just, it's just been one great part of 2020 in a big way.
That's fantastic. That means so much to all of us, because we are all very passionate as far as the work that we do, and it means the world to us. So thank you for sharing that.
You're welcome. So I got my early Christmas present from my family.
Ooh.
It's not connected yet because I'm waiting for a hard case for the back of it to protect it, as you know, so it won't break if it falls on the floor.
Okay.
I got a new iPhone 12 for Christmas.
Hey,
Ooh.
fantastic.
Nice.
I'm really.
So have you had a chance to check out the accessibility features on it then?
No, but I guess there's some new accessibility features, is my understanding.
Yeah, there is. I mean, there's a lot on there. The features that I was talking about earlier are only on the Pro, not the 12. So
yeah, I didn't get the Pro.
Yeah, no, on the 12. There's still a lot on the 12.
Wow. So like, what features do you not get on the 12 then? If you can tell me, Dave.
So with you don't get the people detection on the 12. That's
You
only on
don't?
the Pro. No,
Oh.
that's only on the Pro, because the Pro has the the 3 bumps on the back.
Yeah.
So the Pro has a different camera which has the LiDAR lens built into it, and the 12 just has the 2 bumps on the back.
Okay.
It doesn't have the LiDAR lens, but you've still got like a really good magnifier, and you've got loads of tech in there. Just go, if you go into the menu and then go into general, or in fact, let me just make sure I'm telling you right. 1 second.
Okay.
You go into the menu, and then you scroll down, and then there's a whole section for accessibility, and then it gives you a breakdown of all different features for different things like vision, for hearing, for so let me just read them actually. So you've got 1 second. I'm just trying to go onto it. So you've got loads of features for vision. You've got features for physical and motor, for hearing, and then there's tons of subsections in those as well. So there's absolutely loads to kind of go in and just really explore. It's the best way.
Wow. I have to say, this is great, Noah. We got it because the price was good, because we didn't want to pay a hefty price. And also, I didn't need a professional camera because I'm not a photographer. That's one of the reasons I got the 12, which I'm really excited about that.
And one of the great things that the camera's got, which is really good for people like ourselves as well, it has something called night mode.
Night mode?
Yeah, night mode. So basically, you can look out into like the blackest of night, and you'll be able to kind of see. It'll lighten up the scene in front of you. So through the camera, you're able to see in low light situations, which is brilliant for people like us. And I actually was able to see some stars, which I've not seen for years, through the night mode in the camera.
Really?
Yeah.
Well, I have to say, I am stoked. I mean, I am going from an iPhone 7 Plus to a 12 with, from a home button to no home button. This is going to be the first for me.
Yeah, it's a massive leap. So yeah, you'll. I mean, there's lots in there, but the great thing about these kind of features is, well, first of all, I think there's still far too many people that that have iPhones like ourselves who have low vision, who actually don't realize that some of the tech that's actually in them, and when you have the tech that's built into into a device that you've got in your pocket, so there's a lot less kind of we speak on previous weeks about the stigma and the misconceptions that are out there with low vision.
Yes.
And sometimes when you're using a device or an aid that is specifically for a disability, whether it be low vision or whatever, sometimes people can feel self-conscious naturally about using these things. It's a process. Talk about the cane being a process, and it's a process with any piece of tech. But when you're using tech that's within a device that everyone's got, it takes that kind of pressure off, if you know what I mean. It takes that kind of stigma away.
I know. I mean, you think about it. I'm an Apple fanatic. I mean, at my house, I have the full Apple infrastructure, like my iPad Air that I'm using, my iMac, my watch, and an iPhone and AirPods. I have it all.
Yep. Yeah,
Nice.
a lot of people. I mean, I've been relying on Apple tech for quite a while now. All my books have been written, using the accessibility features, and all my poems are stored on my devices. I've got my iPad here, and I'm using my 12 Pro here, and I use different things, navigation on my watch and things like that. So we are very reliant on tech. I know we've done previous weeks on stuff like that before, but we do rely on it these days. But I think more people, especially those people who are right at the beginning of their journeys with low vision, need to understand more actually that they've actually probably carrying a device already that can help them in a lot of ways. And I don't think there's enough education on that.
You know what? There is. And one thing I want to mention too, the blind support groups I follow on Facebook and all, those are a great resource. And one of my favorite go-tos too is the iPhone and iPad apps for the blind visually impaired. If you're not familiar with it, or if you're familiar with it, that's one good resource I use. For when I have questions. And I've been using it, because I've had questions about my new iPhone, like, okay, how do I activate voiceover? And I had those questions answered. So
Yeah,
it's been a good
I
thing.
also actually, I want to give a shout out and a bit of a plug here to our good friend Sam Seavey. If anyone is interested in that kind of stuff, the tech side, go onto YouTube and look up the Blind Life channel. And Sam, who's a good friend of ours, does amazing work there with a whole range of tech that's out there and available for people like us that makes a real difference. And he is a real kind of expert on that. I've got to give him his dues and say check out Sam on the Blind Life.
Definitely check him out. Definitely check him out.
That sounds good. Real quick though, Dave, Steele, before I forget, this has been all good information, but I just want to say before it gets too late, I want to wish you good luck with your medical procedure tomorrow on your
Thank you very much. I appreciate that.
You're welcome. You'll be in my thoughts and prayers, and I just want to wish you a speedy recovery and just keep us posted on how it goes.
Thank you.
Mm-hmm. So anyway, but everything's been going good though, aside from the fact, Barry, I appreciate you following up. Just, I sent you those pictures last weekend, and
we can't wait to see them at the end. It's going to be fab. But Travis, I just want to, before you go and we move on to somebody else, I want to wish you a happy holidays. Whether you celebrate, whether it be Hanukkah, Christmas, whatever. In this time, enjoy yourself, eat plenty, drink plenty, and do all the things that are important. Spending time with loved ones and smiling.
Absolutely, same to you, Dave, and definitely eating a lot of food like Chex Mix, drinking eggnog. That's been one of our favorites this year.
Sounds perfect.
I love it. And Christmas cookies.
Nice. You're making me hungry. Hungry. So, all right, Travis, we'll be in touch, and you know where to reach me if you need anything. And I'll talk to you, I'm sure, before the holidays. But don't go anywhere because we're gonna be sharing those pictures later.
Sounds good. And I do have your contact programmed into my phone. So
very good. All righty. All right, Derek Mills coming right up.
New London, Mystic, Westerly, Kingston, Providence, Route 128.
Derek, you there?
I think so.
Yes, you are.
Can you hear me?
Hey, Derek, how are you doing?
Can you see me?
I can't see you, no. I can hear you.
I will see. Let me see if I can bring you on. I'm doing this from the. Just bear with me 1 second. I will. Let me see here. Here we go.
With intermediate stops at Wilmington, Philadelphia.
You should be coming on right now.
Newark, New Jersey, New York, Penn State, New Rochelle, Stanford,
Is Derek there?
New Haven, Old Saybrook, New London, Mystic, Westerly.
Let me see. Can you guys hear me?
There we go.
There we go. Hey, Derek.
Sorry, I know it's dark. I did it kind of late. I'm sorry.
It's all good. It's all good. How's it going up there, up north?
A little cold, but it's going good.
That's good. I'm actually about to board a train that's headed to Boston, so it'll be.
We can tell the platform announcement's been going off constantly, hasn't it?
Yeah, I think I heard Providence in the background, so I said,
I heard that too.
Yeah. I'm gonna put myself on mute so Derek, so you guys we can hear you.
Okay. Yeah, so hi Derek. First of all, good to hear from you. How's things there?
Things are going good. Everything's copacetic. I just wanted to make sure I checked in and got to say hi before the holidays. I know you said.
Well, your timing's good. This is, as said, announced at the beginning, the last one of the year. I'm glad you've got to join us on so many. So I'm going to ask you the questions that I want to ask kind of everyone who comes on is, first of all, what's 2020 taught you? What's the biggest thing you've kind of took from it? And also, what's tea and poetry meant to you this year?
All right. 2020 is obviously, it's been a roller coaster for everybody. It's been a roller coaster for me. This pandemic came out of nowhere, and it's like, like everyone's like, what do we do? And being only diagnosed a little over a year ago with RP, it's like, thank God for tea and poetry. I know I haven't been here for the past few weeks. I've had a different shift at work, but I was able to make a bunch of them, and then thank God I was able to make this last one. I had no idea until you said it. But talking to you guys, Dave, Barry, B, Fox, Doreen that was just on, Travis. It helps you through 2020 because you see how you guys are dealing with it, and girls, and it shows me that, like, you know, I'm not the only one, because without this team poetry, it's like I can't just go out and walk down the street and meet somebody that has what we have and talk to them about it. So that's what you guys are for, and women, and it's nice for that. It helps to, you know, like a therapeutic session. So I just wanted to check in quick and say thanks, guys, for everything. Congratulations with the Apple. Um, and Dave, good luck with your surgery on the scar tissue or whatever it is from the cataracts. And again, I just want to check in and say thanks to everybody for making this happen. It really does help.
Yeah, I mean, you know, often I do these kind of webinar or like podcast interviews where I kind of do what you know, I was doing when we first met, you know, that kind of telling my story from that moment of diagnosis and talking about, you know, the poetry that kind of comes at those different moments. And what I always talk about at the beginning of my story is that making that connection and realizing that speaking to people who are going through the same thing is actually the biggest help. It's that bit that's where you get, you know, your biggest support from is speaking to people who really get it. And often I get people still, you know, I had people today, a few different messages, people reaching out to me, just, you know, discovered me on Instagram or on Facebook or whatever, and they reach out because they've read a piece of poetry and they want to connect. And, you know, I talk about these things about how actually, you know, sometimes it's the best kind of therapy is speaking to people who, you know, totally understand and totally get it.
Yeah, absolutely right. It's like when, you know, not again, I don't go out and tell every single person I meet what I have, but the people, the family and close friends that know what I have, it's like the first thing they kind of do is like they squint and they stare into my eyes like they're turning like black or something. And I'm like, no, they're not turning black. Relax, you know. And
Yeah.
it's like it's hard because they don't understand, and it's like, but this community does understand, and that's when it's nice to come and check in with like our reality and say like, good, everybody's doing good. This isn't going to be as bad as I thought it was going to be. You know, it's nice. It really is.
And I'd like to think as well that, you know, with this group, and B, are you still there, B? He might have gone off. You know,
He's
I am here, but
oh,
I'm
you are,
actually
right, okay, yeah, you know, that we, you know, it's not just all about talking about, you know, stuff to do with low vision. We have a laugh. You know, we laugh more more than anything. You know, we talk about each other's lives, and I think that's really, really important. Sometimes a lot of these, you know, when you say to someone, you know, support group or whatever you want to call it, there's a little bit of a stigma that kind of comes with that, and you know, people presume it to be a certain kind of way, and it can be quite off-putting or daunting for people. But I don't think this is that. I don't think this is that at all. I think, you know, we're all, for me, it's like I feel like I'm speaking to my friends, my family, and I hope it's been that way for you guys this year.
It has been for me, Dave.
It definitely has. Sorry.
Yeah, absolutely. So yeah, you know, thank you. Thanks for coming on, Derek, and sticking with us. And I hope you'll be back with us in January next year. It's still so weird. I was saying to Amy before, you know, we're going to be heading into 2021, and I just saying 2021 because 2020 has been such a write-off this year with regards to actually getting out and doing a lot of the things that we plan to do. It almost feels like we've skipped 2020, and 2021 just seems like something in the future, doesn't it? It just doesn't seem like, you know, we're about to start 2021. I don't, you know, it still seems a bit weird. But this year has gone ridiculously quick. Even though when you look back on everything that we've done and achieved and the things that we've actually fit in, everything that's happened, it's an awful lot. Yeah, it's, you know, we're ready for whatever comes next.
Absolutely. And again, guys, I just want to say happy holidays to everybody. Thanks for making this happen. It does help. Trust me. I know even if people don't want to come on and talk, maybe they're shy, but I know they feel the same way as I do. So
yeah,
again, thank you guys for everything. Dave, thanks for the poetry, and seriously, good luck on your surgery. And I hope everything goes well.
Yeah, I'm sure it will. And listen, you know, with regards to the surgery, it's not a biggie. I've actually been looking forward to this. I'm in and out pretty quick. The procedure lasts about 20 minutes. It's pain-free. And maybe a day to recover, but you know, from everyone that I know who's had it before, it makes a massive difference to how my eyes been. So I can't wait to you know get the full effect of not having this problem with the glare and the blur that I've had in my left eye for. I mean, it's literally left me with just light perception in my left eye, which has been a big adjustment and really added to my isolation this year. I've stayed in over the last few months. You know, I've not gone out on my own hardly at all, which is why Doreen has been sending pictures and posting pictures on my Facebook every day of sunsets and sunrises. So I could see the beauty of the world without actually going out there. And hopefully, you know, touch wood, fingers crossed, with this procedure tomorrow, it's going to free me back outside.
Yep. Well, let me know how it goes, because I have cataract surgery eventually coming up on both of my eyes, so I'm going to need some advice.
Yeah, I'll reach out to you off this, and we'll have a proper chat about it, and I'll tell you my experience and what to kind of look out for and stuff.
Absolutely. Merry Christmas, happy holidays, everybody.
Yeah, absolutely. And give my love to your family, and I'll speak to you soon.
You too. Thank you.
B.
Hey, Barry.
Is Barry still there?
Yes.
He's there. Okay. So before I bring, he's on the train. Before we bring the next person on, whoever that is going to be. In fact, I'd like to put a request. I'd like to bring Louise Connett on next. She said she's dressed. Normally she's watching this in her pajamas, but she said she promised me this week that she would be ready to come on. So we'll bring Louise on. But while we're getting that organised, I just want to read that piece of poetry that we started Tea and Poetry off with at the beginning of this year, which speaks about COVID and how far we've come with it as well. So I'm going to read you this now. It goes like this. In times like these, we all can feel a little more alone. The whole world's isolating. Our anxiety has grown. A virus sweeping coast to coast that none of us can see. It's time we pulled together, though apart, let's still be we. We all can play our role in helping others who feel low. Our mental health is vital when we've got no place to go. But keeping social distance, staying home, all that we can. It's saving lives. Let's stop the rise. Excuse me. Let's stop the rise. This is the only plan. Let's use all social media, connect this World Wide Web with all the things that people need till waves of sickness ebb. So let's never forget that together we will cope. I'm sending out these rhyming words, this poetry of hope. We've won our independence, we can do it now once more. Whilst living with low vision, we've been trapped behind our doors. I know there's plenty out there who, like me, know how it feels when things out of our control, our independence steal. When all of this is over and the virus is no more, let people come together like we never have before. Too long we've been divided by the things that shouldn't count. Let's learn from our mistakes. Let's be kind in large amounts. There we go.
Yeah, I remember that win. I remember it, it does feel like a long time ago.
Get the back signal.
Oh, can you hear me now?
I can, yeah.
Okay. Yeah, it feels like that was forever ago when you wrote that.
It does, doesn't it? It does.
It does.
It's amazing, like certain pieces of poetry really sink in more than others with me. And that's one that I know I've read a few times, and I can remember the words, and it's becoming like Ben's favorite one, Blind Perceptions, is now one that I can pretty much recite all, even though it's quite a long poem, I can pretty much recite it all the way. I've got it memorized already. So that's going to be one that I'm going to be definitely performing at events next year.
In the US.
Absolutely. Isn't that going to be a thing?
It is going to be a thing. I saw a video that even says that you're going to be in the US.
Did you? Where was that?
It was filmed in Sedona. There is going to be a trailer coming out in the very near future.
Okay, that's a surprise to me. So I will look forward to seeing it.
It clearly says Dave Steele.
Wow.
It clearly
Have
says
we
it.
have we got Louise, or is she in her pajamas?
Louise is there, and I see a beautiful tree behind Louise.
Hey,
Let me-
Louise.
Let me make sure
Oh, I think she
she's
needs to
unmuted.
unmute.
Hello.
Yeah. Oh, there she is.
Oh, there she is.
There's another British accent.
I can see I can see the tree, but I can't see you. It's like you're in darkness. It's like
No.
you're.
Hang on a sec. Alexa, turn on the lounge light.
Oh, look at you all posh with Alexa.
Oh, kitchen lights. Living room.
Hey, oh, that's Ben. I thought the lights had come on then. It was your face. What's Ben
Alexa.
doing in Louise's house?
Turn on
I've got a
the
picture of
living
you right
room
behind me, Dave. I'm standing here on purpose.
Yeah.
light.
Oh,
Okay,
so
is
you
that
are.
better?
Oh, hey.
Any better?
I can't see. All I can see is Ben at the moment. Hang on a second. Let me just flick my screen. Yeah, there we go. That's better.
Hello. Hey.
So,
Look, I'm
Louise-
dressed. I'm not in my
Yeah.
pajamas, and I'm not in bed.
So Louise, I'd like to kind of introduce you properly. I know you've been on the call, listening in for a few weeks now, and I want to properly introduce you to everyone out there, and to B, and to Barry. We did an event together last week as well. Was it last week? My God, last week was a crazy week.
It was.
Yeah, it was. Can you explain, who you are, where you work, and what you do, and the event?
Yeah. So, I'm Lou. For all of you that haven't heard or seen, well, that'll be all of you. I'm normally wrapped up in. That sounds really wrong. That I normally watch and listen to Dave in my pajamas in bed, but it's just the truth. It's just the truth. So I've been registered blind since I was born. So it's my norm. This is just the way things are. And I work for a sight loss charity, a national sight loss charity here in the UK called Thomas Pocklington Trust. We're in a very fortunate position where we fund a lot of smaller local sight loss charities to do projects that they might not be able to do if we didn't fund them. So my role is to manage what we call sight loss councils. And sight loss councils are groups of VI volunteers who get together once a month to discuss any pressing issues that are affecting them within their local communities. So it can be anything from like taxi refusals with guide dogs to them not being able to access their medical appointments because they're not being sent out in an accessible format. It could be that they want to start doing more sports and leisure activities, but there isn't anything that's suitable in the area. There's hundreds and hundreds and hundreds of different projects that we work on, like working closely with government to get policies and procedures put through that benefit blind and partially sighted people, to working with our local NHS or CCG providers to make sure that the care packages are correct and that pathways are how they should be. Loads and loads of different stuff. It could be mystery shopping, going out and eating and testing out restaurants.
Nice.
So yeah, it's just, I know, it's a fab position to be in. And like you guys here, it gives support networks to people that might not have support networks in any other walk of life. Builds their confidence, instills skills for them to get back into employment, or people that are retired and don't really have much to do, time on their hands at the minute. So last week for International Day of Disabled People, and then on Saturday for International Day of Volunteers, we put on what should have been a gala dinner, but unfortunately COVID took over and ruined our plans. So we did a virtual event, and Dave very kindly came and did a talk and read some of his poetry. We had a Q&A session with the Paralympian Libby Clegg. We had blind comedian Chris McCausland, who's a Scottish comedian. So it was a really, really great couple of days. And I'd said to Dave previously that anyone that knows me, I mean, it's like a bit of a laugh and a joke at work. Everyone's like, you'll go to tea and poetry, Louise. You mean it's not like a gin and a dance session? And I'm like, no, it's not. And they're like, Louise, you're not cultured enough to be going to tea and poetry. And I'm like, well, it's not you know, we always say things do what they say on the tin, and I don't think this group does what it says on the tin, and I don't mean that in a really bad way. But poetry sometimes is, especially in England, I don't know about in America, but it's kind of stigmatized about being for the upper class, or for, you know, the elite, or people that are highly intelligent. Or I'm not saying that you guys aren't any of that, but I definitely am not. So and when I suggested asking Dave to come and join us, everyone was kind of like, poetry, Louise, and I'm like, just trust me on this one. I'm telling you, when you've listened
Just
to him
trust
talk,
me.
you're all going to be like, oh, okay, I got it now. And one of my colleagues, Kirsty, who was the one that was like, Louise, you're not cultured enough for poetry, love. Like, you need to step back from there. He made her, I don't know if you know this, Dave, but he made her cry, and she's a tough Londoner. I don't know if you know anybody about like the old stereotype about the Londoners, but they're quite tough, bit hard faced. And you know, it was the poem that you read that was to your children. And I think she instantaneously could put herself in that spot, because she's registered blind as well. And every single person was like, oh my God, like, you were right. That was absolutely not what we were expecting. I almost logged off because I didn't believe you, but I'm so glad I didn't. So it went down a storm, like it really, really did.
Yeah,
So,
I know we had that chat beforehand. The feedback though I got afterwards, I got, you know, a few messages on Facebook and Instagram and Twitter and stuff. You know, one guy messaged me, I think it was actually one of your colleagues, and said that, you know, he could listen to me talk all day, and it was you know, it was really lovely to kind of come on and do that. And you know, once again, I just want to say a massive thank you for actually giving me the opportunity to do that and reach more people, which is something I always, you know, ask people to try and help me do, is reach more people. And you know,
absolutely. And like I said before as well, you know, we have our weekly sight loss council meetings, and I know they would absolutely love for you to come and join us on a more personal, smaller group note. And then the other project that we've spoken about as well, with the children and young people section of our charity, could be huge. But you know, I leave that there for now.
No, absolutely. You know, so we spoke about the children's books, which, you know, Barry's actually got the children's books in his office. He has the artwork there, so we'll find some way of being able to show you that. But yeah, I will quite happily come on and do that. And we'll get that organised. So I'm going to ask you the question that we've been asking everyone: what you're grateful for? What's 2020 kind of shown you or taught you? And also, you know, what's tea and poetry meant to you this year?
So 2020 has taught me a couple of things. I had a really nasty accident on Boxing Day last year.
Can you explain? Can you explain to everyone what Boxing Day is? Because maybe some people.
Sorry.
I know what it is.
It's not a day where we all fight.
I used to think that's what it was.
So Boxing Day is the day after Christmas Day. So we have Christmas Eve, Christmas Day, and then Boxing Day. It's like a 3-day celebration, although you can make it last as long as you want.
I heard that term years ago. I have a friend of mine from the UK originally, and he said that to me, and I'm like, what did you just say, Boxing Day? And he explained it to me, but perhaps many people on this call don't know what it is, so that's why I wanted you to elaborate.
Yeah, so I don't know if you have a day after Thanksgiving where you, like, your traditions roll over into like the next day.
That's called Black Friday.
Yeah, a bit like that. But I passed out at the top of the stairs and woke up at the bottom. And then I had to spend all of the Christmas period in a hospital, so I didn't come out till New Year's Eve. So I was kind of locked down for quite a long time before the rest of the world. We were having our extension done on the house, so I've kind of been inside for almost a year. But the big thing that it's taught me is that I don't ever want to homeschool. I wasn't cut out to be a teacher. And I was very thankful when my kids went back to school in September. I think we always know that we're very resilient in the VI community, but I think I've moved jobs, so I only joined this position that I'm in now in September. And if somebody had said to me back in, you know, this time last year, that all of this was going to happen, and right in the middle of it, I would leave a job that I absolutely loved, working for a smaller sight loss charity, to take this risk and do this jump, I would probably have said absolutely not, no way, like that's way too risky. But it's taught me that we all have to step outside of our comfort zone sometimes in life to accomplish things that we want to accomplish and to help more people than we are helping already. So the smaller sight loss charity that I worked for, I loved. It was close. It was in like the town where I live. But I was never going to be able to help the amount of people that I can help now on a larger scale working there. And I would also roll that into the question of that Dave asked about what tea and poetry's brought from me. Apart from the fact that I can say I'm a little bit more cultured than I was before, is again, I would never have had the opportunity to talk to guys from across the pond and listen to how we have so much in common, but there are a lot of differences as well. So yeah.
Like Boxing Day.
Like Boxing Day.
Can I just say, I just did a little bit of research there because, you know, this question's been asked me loads of times about Boxing Day, especially with my friends in America. And one of the theories about Boxing Day is that it actually comes from the early kind of 1800s, where aristocrats would send out boxes on the day after Christmas with leftover food from Christmas dinner and small gifts. So they'd make boxes up with the leftovers from Christmas dinner and small gifts for people, and that's why that's where Boxing Day comes from. So there we go.
And now you just have like turkey curry.
Yeah, exactly. They don't understand what curries are, so
oh Christ!
We've opened a whole can of worms there.
I don't know what you're talking about.
Turkey sandwiches. So yeah, and I also think I may have learned that I might have a slight gin problem.
That's not a problem.
Minor issue.
Yeah, that's not a problem. I think this is the first week I've actually not been sat with some kind of alcoholic beverage by the side of me, and it is normally gin. This week I'm not prepared. I'm kind of being good at the moment, and everything will start, you know, once the kids finish school and we can kind of relax then for the holidays, which I'm looking forward to. But Louise, thank you very much for coming on, and I really look forward to kind of working, you know, together in the future with stuff.
If you need a British, I was going to say blonde face, but I dyed my hair ginger before the lockdown in America, then I can always join.
Okay, good to know.
There's always room in the blind mafia.
That's it.
Absolutely.
You need some female representation going on there.
We have. Yeah,
thanks for having me.
You're welcome.
Diane holds down the fort.
Yeah, she does. Yeah, she does.
So take care, Louise.
Thank you. We'll send you back. But listen, Merry Christmas, Happy Holidays, and no doubt we'll be speaking again soon.
Absolutely. Take care.
Take care. Thank you, Lou. So I am going to bring on. Can you guys hear me?
Yep.
Okay, great. I'm going to bring on. Christina's been waiting really patiently, and then I'm going to go to Trish, and then we are going to share some photos that I have prepared from Travis's home. Okay, Christina, thanks for your patience. Bring you right in right now. And then after this, we're going to Dallas. Trish.
Hello.
Hey, how are you?
Hey.
Chris.
How are you, everybody there?
We are here.
Yeah, I'm cutting out. I live. Yeah, I hear you now. I had to step outside to get good Wi-Fi. I want to say thanks to Dave for all his poetry. I love it. I wait for him to write a new one. Just wanted to say that right off. If he can hear me.
Dave, Dave, you're on mute. Hold on one second. Let me unmute you. Hold on one second.
There we go. Sorry, can you hear me now?
I can.
Oh yeah. So yeah, thank you for saying that. Hopefully you don't have to wait too long for a new piece. Hopefully I get them out. I get them out fairly regular.
Yeah.
So
And I wanted to
yeah,
say something too about the cataract surgery for you and the other guy. I
sure.
had it already twice in
Mhm.
when I was my late 30s, early 40s, can't remember exactly what year. Um, it's scary at first because you don't know what's going on, but it's done in less the time than what they're telling
Yeah,
you. It's like maybe I was in and out before you even know it. And then if you had to have it done the second time, they just do it like laser in the office.
yeah.
It's
So
really simple
that,
deal.
that's what I'm having done tomorrow. So I had cataract surgery on my left eye at the beginning of last
Hmm.
year, but that didn't go too well because I developed a real bad case of cystoid macular edema, which is the pockets of fluid you get behind the eyes, which causes blurriness. So I had to be on like 2 different sets of drops, like 5 times a day, and they've advised me because the cystoid macedema was so bad in my left eye not to get my right eye done. So I won't be having my right eye done on the cataracts, but yeah, I developed the it's what they call posterior, no, it's PCO, isn't it? So posterior capsule opacification, which is basically, as I said, the kind of residual of it's like marks on the capsule, isn't it? So they have to laser them off. So I know it's pretty kind of quick. I think it takes about 20 minutes. I might be in for about an hour because they've got to put the dilating drops in and possibly numbing drops. But with what you were saying just there with regards to the actual cataract surgery, I was always dead nervous about anyone kind of, the thought of a needle going near my eyes terrified the life out of me. But actually getting it done, when you have the numbing drops and everything else, it was really, you felt a little bit of pressure of pushing down, but nothing sharp, and and lots of kind of like fluid in your eye, and it was a very easy thing to do. So it's certainly nothing to be nervous about. That the thought of getting anything like that now just doesn't faze me at all.
Yeah. I was mainly saying that for the other guy that was on the call because he
Yeah,
said
it's
he
nothing
was
to be
supposed
scared of. Yeah,
to
absolutely.
to have it.
So
And
we'll ask you the questions then that we've been asking everyone. What has 2020 kind of taught you this year? What have you taken from it, and what's tea and poetry meant for you?
well, 2020, it's been a roller coaster with the COVID-19. Well, I've learned that you had to reach out more, and I learned how to use Zoom and a lot of different platforms that I'd never had
Yeah, I'd never heard of
had
Zoom before.
I've never heard of, never went to, and also been doing like classes for blind and visually impaired in places I couldn't even go to because where I live so far out in the countryside. So that's been really good for me. And then the tea and poetry, that's really been like I've learned a lot from Dave with the different things because still I have light perception, but they said in a matter of time I will go completely black. And I've learned that it's day by day. You have your good days, you have your bad, and the poetry really helps to make you think that okay, it's not. This is just going to be here for the day. You can still go on with everything that you're trying to do in your life.
That means the world because that's exactly the message that I try and put across, and we try and put out in everything that we do here. With Barry and Ben, that's exactly it. So thank you.
You're welcome, and thank you for the stuff that you write. It's very inspirational.
I hope you'll be back with us in January and seeing where we go next year.
I sure will. I'm following you on YouTube too.
Excellent.
Awesome.
Nice. Thank you so much, Christina. Wishing you happy
You're
holidays,
welcome.
and we'll
You
see you
guys
soon.
too. Happy holidays, Dave.
Thank you.
Thank
Thank
you.
you.
You're welcome.
All right, let's go, Trish, all the way to Dallas. How are you?
I'm great, and it's so good to be with y'all. I'm going to be honest. This is my second time for tea and poetry, and I actually set an alarm so I wouldn't forget.
Oh, bless you.
Nice.
Dave, I heard your poetry long ago when we first started just watching two blind brothers do their little
Yeah.
Facebook stuff. And your poetry has always encouraged and inspired me to keeping on. And I have to tell y'all, being a part just for these 2 weeks of tea and poetry is just uplifting, because we're not incapable of doing whatever we choose to. And your poetry lets the world know, hey, we're real people. And I love it. One of the things I will say, one of the questions that you've asked, what has 2020 taught you? Endurance. It has taught me endurance. To be able to keep going. I lost a job I loved dearly. I worked from home, loved it. And it's tough as a visually impaired person to not be able to find a job. And so that's been a hurdle. But at the same time, just connecting with all of you, and Dave, your poetry just is so beautiful. Just speaks volumes. It's wonderful.
Means a lot. And obviously we connected a long time ago, and it's amazing how far it's all come, really, isn't it? It's still it's still bizarre to me. It's something I never take for granted. And we connected through Brad and Brian, and I got to sort of become good friends with them and meet them for the first time face to face when we were out on my tour October, November last year. And it was such a great experience. We were at an event in New York, and I remember Brad and Brian like coming up and giving me a big hug, and me realizing what big guys they actually are. They kind of like
They are
over
big guys.
They are
They're
big
huge.
guys. And I just remember them coming and being so kind of down to earth, and just saying, oh, we've come to see the famous Dave Steele. And I was like, well, God, these are two guys that I've looked up to. So it's been great kind of connecting with them. And I look forward to more in the future working together. There's a lot more to come.
Yeah, I got to meet them over a year ago. They
I
had their
remember.
Yeah, and it was just, I'm like you. I was like, oh my gosh, it's like meeting celebrities, But I love how through Zoom and technology, we're able to connect with people like you, Dave, over in England, and just people all over the world. Has just
Isn't that
been
the thing, though,
such a
that
blessing.
that's one of the things that I've really sort of took from this year, is the fact that me and Barry have talked about it before. We had all these kind of plans put in place. I was due to come out and host the Helen Keller Awards in DC the week before, or the week after we went into lockdown. My bags were packed. I was ready. I was ready to check into my flight. We were good to go. The flights were booked and everything. I was coming out, and then we got the news that everything was being locked down, and we had to kind of adjust. And I talk about it in that last poem that I read, which was the first piece of poetry that I wrote on the very first Tea and Poetry, or even before it was called Tea and Poetry. And it's about that, using social media in a positive way to connect people. And this is something that I've been doing since I started writing the poetry, but really seeing it go to a new level now with everything that we've been doing this year, and how people have been doing it, working from home and using Zoom and all these different platforms. We're so lucky that we've got these things that we are able to reach out to people. And I know there's a lot of people out there around the world who'll be listening at the moment who are maybe not getting to see their loved ones because of restrictions, for the holidays and for Christmas and Hanukkah and everything else. And these things are more vital now than ever.
Yes. Yeah, it really is. I'm so thankful for technology, and we're big Apple people. So I'm very thankful for VoiceOver for iPads and my phone. And I mean, the very first time I had VoiceOver was on an iPhone 4. So, it's come a long way, but
we won't be long. We won't be long before we're back together, and we're going to be coming to Dallas.
Yes.
I'll take you. We will be coming down south.
Hey, and you know what? If you need anything here in Dallas, please, I'd love to be an advocate, which I already am, but I'd love to be an advocate for you here in Dallas.
That would be much appreciated.
All right. Well,
Thank
Merry
you.
Christmas, everybody.
Thank
Merry
you.
Christmas, happy
Thanks for
holidays.
bringing me on.
Take care. Oh, it's our pleasure.
Bye now.
Thank you. Thank you. Take care. So I'm going to just for everyone, in case everyone is wondering, Lou is back in her pajamas. Did everyone hear that?
Awesome.
Lou, yes, that is breaking news from across the pond. Lou is back in her PJs. Okay, so I'm gonna bring it one last person on, and because we've gone a little bit over time here, and I want to share Travis's photos with everyone here. So I'm gonna bring on Geraldine. We'll make this a quick one, and I know you've been waiting, so you're coming right on. And right after Geraldine, we're gonna go ahead and share Travis's photos, and I'm gonna go ahead and and I'm gonna bring Travis back on while I'm sharing the photos as well. So.
Hello, everybody.
Hey, Geraldine.
Hi there.
How are you?
I'm well. I am just grateful for 2020 because I'm still working both jobs, full-time and part-time, and I have my independence, and I'm grateful for that. I am very grateful for Tea and Poetry meeting every Wednesday because it has really helped me to deal with my anxiety. I don't have that a lot anymore because I have learned through you all that I'm not alone, and I listen to you all, and you all are so strong and positive and successful. And it lets me know that I can continue to be positive and successful and to go on with my goals and dreams that I have had for years. Although I am losing some vision, it doesn't stop me from being the best that I can be.
Well said. I couldn't have put that better myself. And I want to add to that. We are not all positive all the time. We all have our bad days, and that's just as important to know. And a comfort to know that, when, we're struggling, it's perfectly normal and natural to do so, and it's part of life.
That is true. But the best thing about when we all meet on Wednesdays, everybody's strong and positive. And I know that's what I tune in for, and that's what I need.
Good.
So if I have had a bad eye week or a bad week, I say, okay, I'm gonna get my shot here, and I go back out and face the world.
Love that. Thank you.
Yeah, so I thank you all for everything. Everybody have a happy holidays and be safe.
Thank you so much, Geraldine. Be
Bye-bye.
well. Take care. All right, for the moment we've been waiting for. Dave, can you hear me?
I can.
Okay, let me go ahead and get my screen share up. Travis, I'm going to unmute you for this. And let me go ahead and hold on 1 second.
I'm here.
All righty. For the moment you've been waiting for.
All right.
Let me go ahead. Okay, let me know when everyone can see that. And can we see the first picture?
We have full audio description for those that can't.
Yes, I'm gonna go through and give a audio description of everything.
Oh wow.
Okay.
Perfect.
So we got the first picture up. Okay. Yes, Dave, is the first picture up?
Yes, it is.
Okay, great. So we have a picture taken outdoor of the front of Travis's home, where there is a big. Is that a penguin?
Yeah.
That's dressed up?
Yep, it's a blow up penguin.
Nice. Next to that's to the left of the walkway, in the grass. To the right of the penguin, we've got a. It almost looks like a tree. What is that, Travis?
Okay,
it's
so
got
just
yeah.
So just an FYI, if you see any of the 2 Christmas trees out front, we custom made those ourselves at our house.
Wow.
The metal stuff that you see with the Christmas lights and the other one with the artificial tree that's in it, we used the metal wire that is used in tomato plants.
Awesome job. Awesome job.
And it came from Home Depot, of all places, where I work.
Of course it did.
Of course it did, right?
Yep, and some of the Christmas lights too.
Beautiful. So yeah, there are these beautiful red bows and wreaths, if you want to call bows, right? That are on the right and the left side. There are 2 columns prior to the entrance, And then there are all these beautiful lights that go around the front door with a beautiful wreath. I'm going to go to the next picture. It's like this maybe someone's bedroom.
Yep, that's my room.
Okay, that's your room, and it is very festive. It's got colorful lights all around the window trimmings, which is really cool. And it's nice to see that we have another aviation enthusiast here on the call.
Mm-hmm.
I know
you see my old plane pictures, don't you?
I do.
That was a Hawker Sea Fury I flew in Colorado Springs.
Oh, wow.
That's an old Korean War plane.
Not today, not today, but we're going to talk about on another call how I'm a diehard aviation enthusiast. So
great.
And I noticed it right. I noticed it right away, and I love that clock that you have in your room. Also, it's pretty cool.
Thank you. The one that plays. Thanks. The one that plays music. Well, the bird clock doesn't work anymore, but I have a singing clock in my room that's made by Seiko, and right now I have it set to play Christmas chimes.
Nice, nice. Moving on to the next photo, we've got beautiful, colorful lights that are draped all around the closet doors.
Yep.
Really nice.
Same room.
Really nice. Same room.
Different angle.
Now, we're going back outside now, and we've got these. Looks like going up the walkway. I don't know. Is that what I'm not sure what we would call that, but there are these like almost like pedestals that. Is that for the birds? What is that?
Oh my goodness, good question. Okay. This is my backyard that you are seeing.
Oh, okay.
What we have is my mom has a bird bath out there, which has been getting a lot of use by her succulents. And around the bird bath and the flowering plum tree, we have multicolored Christmas lights on it, the big round ones.
Yes, yes. Quite nice. Okay, that's the backyard. Okay. Oh yeah, here's another view of that also. Yes, that is exactly a bird bath. I like it. I like it. And then there's colorful lights in the trees as well. And here we are. It looks like we are into your living room now. We got the beautiful, beautiful Christmas tree underneath I love those high ceilings you have in your living room. Beautiful Christmas tree. Beautiful Christmas tree. And then towards the view that it's facing beyond the living room goes towards that front door. There's some looks like there's lights over there as well, inside on that angle. Is that correct, or is that through the window that I'm looking at?
Okay, good question. So the lights that we have in the house by the front door and the dining room, the pony wall that's between the entryway and dining room, we have white stars that light up.
Yes.
And across the way on the opposing wall, we have white lights in the garland and around the mirror in the dining room above the buffet.
Beautiful. Really, really nice. And here we have the next picture. I guess we have this. They're not, well, they have those lights there, but there is this, what is that? Those colorful, it's like, it's going from like one post to the next. I don't know. I see those other lights there, but what are these colorful? They look like macaroons that are.
Okay. Hold on a second. Is it on the white hutch or the antique?
It looks like it's on the antique. It goes from right. It's like spread across in front of those lights. It's near the front door.
Okay, so actually, is it showing is it just the antique set with the brown top, or is it a white hutch that you see?
I think there's that antique set with a clock on top of it, the mirror above that, but it has. Dave, can you see what I'm talking about? It's got I don't know. It looks like they look like these colorful balls, but they're not lights.
Oh, wait a minute. Hold on a second. Okay, hold on a minute. We do have colorful glass balls in like a bowl with a hurricane bowl in the center of it on the buffet in the dining room.
Yeah. Okay. Maybe that's what it is. Yes.
Yeah, that's what it's supposed to be. Those glass balls.
Yeah. Really beautiful. Beautiful. And here we are. We've got another view, and I see someone that it looks like you in the background. In this picture, it looks like also maybe the family room where it says the word home above the windows. There's there's 5 windows on this room on the back wall, 2 vertically stacked, and then 1 big one, and then another 2 vertically stacked with another beautiful tree there.
Okay, so
But
if you see a tree, if it's small, if you see a small tree, the small tree that we have kind of by the windows in our living
small.
room.
Yeah,
What's
yeah,
that?
it's got the, yes, can you hear me?
Yes.
It's right by the window.
Okay, so that tree, it's a tabletop Christmas tree on the antique that you see. It's got multicolors on it. This was made by my great-grandmother for my mom and all of her sisters many, many, many years ago, out of clay and everything.
Oh, wow, that's
And
spectacular.
And it is powered with electricity, and you have to buy a night light bulb for those things, which you have to take the decoration off in order to have access to the bulb.
Fantastic, fantastic. And yeah, I love that little mini rocking chair to the left of it.
Thank you. And we have the big tree under the window, as you can see. That's the tall one.
Yep.
As you know, with the white lights, we bought that from Michael's Craft Shop several years ago. It's meant to be really tall since we have the tall ceilings, but the good thing about it is it's narrow and it's got a slim profile, so it doesn't stick out of the room, and it takes less time to put together than compared to old artificial trees that you used to get.
Got it. You guys, I've never, we're moving on to this next photo, another picture of outdoors of the penguin. He's wearing a sweater. It says "Have an ice day."
Yes, that's right.
I love that. I love that. I love that. It's yeah. I mean, these. I think. I mean, Travis, I know you sent me like 30 plus photos, so I tried to pick the best of the best, which I thought would really illustrate and show your house into the incredible work that you guys done to really make it, festive for the holiday season. And yeah, incredible stuff.
Well,
incredible.
Thank you.
No, thank you for so much for sharing it, and really bring light to this group. And again, just wishing you happy holidays. And we're gonna hand it over to the poet himself to close things out. So thanks again for everything, Travis.
You're welcome. And I just want to say thank you
Hope
guys
everyone
so much
enjoyed it.
for a wonderful group. Glad you love the pictures. And I just want to just bring up one thing. If anybody wants to buy any Christmas decorations, just last minute stuff from Home Depot, they should be able to have some, but we don't offer employee discounts.
Okay. Thank you, Travis.
You're welcome.
Oh, Dave, you're on mute again. All right. Take care, Travis.
All right.
There you are,
Thanks
back.
again.
Okay.
Happy holidays.
Be well.
Okay.
Happy holidays.
So we've run over, but the last one of the year, it doesn't really matter. I want to say a massive thank you to you, Barry, for being a constant support and for being right at my side with all these amazing things that we are continuing to do on into next year. We are still just at the beginning. We've got lots more to come. I'm going to leave you with this piece of poetry. I want a big shout out to B Fox, to Doreen, to everyone that's been a massive support. And I'll see you on the other side of the year. But I'm going to leave you with this new piece of poetry that I only wrote yesterday.
Love you, Dave Steele.
Thank you, B.
You only wrote yesterday. That like writing for you yesterday is like 20 years.
Here we go. You'll get a lot from this, by the way. I may be almost blind, but I am never losing sight of all the hearts that I can touch with every verse I write. But there was once a time when I felt trapped within my view. The inside of four walls was all I felt I ever knew. The guilt of going blind was far too much for me to bear. I buried my depression. Back of mind, I left it there. Each teardrop was a burden, so I cried when they'd not see how much the stress of going blind was taking me from me. Denial's far too comfy, but it's not a place to live. There's strength in sharing good and bad, a message I can give. And ever since I promised to tell all who take the time to listen to my journey spilled from heart to poet's rhyme, I've regained my independence, found a purpose to be proud, a vision in my mind that's clearer than this hazy shroud. And now on bad-eye days, this phase inspires me to show that nothing lasts forever, all these struggles come and go. So even when we feel alone, that's never really true. Forever, this blind poet will be walking next to you.
Wow, that is beautiful. Really, really touched by that, Dave.
Yes, and I know that's true.
And I want to, thank you, Dave, for everything that you do, for putting in all your effort, the time that goes into this, and it just, while a lot of this, just flows freely, there's still, the emotional side that goes into this, and preparing in the mind. And I want to say we recognize that, and we thank you for everything that you do, and we're looking forward to an exciting 2021. Hopefully, with everyone with good health, and just it's exciting times. And thanks again for everything, and saying happy holidays to everyone. If anyone needs to reach me, Travis found me. Everyone could find me. I'm out there, and also fully accessible as far as approachable and all that. So don't be shy. And my train has just arrived to Wilmington, Delaware. And I wish you everyone a wonderful evening and happy holidays.
Take care, guys. Bye-bye.
Take care.
Bye, guys. Bye, Dave.
Bye.